How's everybody doing? Please subscribe to the African American Maryland movement. Do you live in Mississippi? Did you know Mississippi is one of the poorest states in the Union? Also, Maryland is one of the more wealthier states in America. Secondly, both have a high population of African Americans, but Maryland is a more progressive place than Mississippi. And Mississippi, I've just heard about Jackson, Mississippi's water issues. Maryland doesn't have water issues like Mississippi. Also, we border more progressive and better cities. The biggest city in Mississippi is gonna be Jackson. The biggest city in Maryland is Baltimore, but we border Washington D.C., which has a population of over 5 million. It's more people that live in the Baltimore metropolitan than in the whole state of Mississippi. It's more people live in the D.C. metropolitan, which includes Maryland, than in the whole state of Mississippi. Mississippi is to me quite backwards. Why stay in a place like that, especially if you're a young person? If you're under the age of, yes, say, I would say if you're under the age of 36, you should really pull up out of there. If you're under the age of 36, you should leave Mississippi and go to a progressive place. You will be in a black place where you have black people, but also a place that's more progressive and has a lot more going on. Maryland is a lot better place to move to than Mississippi. Somebody should start a hashtag, do not move to Mississippi, right? And it's also home to the African American and also the Black American Mid-Atlantic movements. These are movements to get black people to settle in the states of Maryland, Virginia, and Delaware. That's the Black American Mid-Atlantic movement. The African American Maryland movement is an organization to get black people settled in the state of Maryland. Right. And this part of the country is better because the Maryland, you're in the south, but you're up in the north. Maryland borders Virginia to the south, which is the south, but it borders Pennsylvania to the north, which is the north. So you'll be in the north and the south. If you come to Maryland, Baltimore, DC, Washington D.C. area, which is the District of Columbia, but it borders Maryland, you're gonna find people that's from the north and the south. It's, to me, that's why it's called a mid-Atlantic. It's where the north and south meet. So if you're from New York, you're from New Jersey, you're from Pennsylvania, you're from Boston. When you get to Baltimore, you move to Maryland or the DC or the parts of Maryland that borders DC, you're gonna have people from New York there. If you're from Georgia, if you're from South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, you're gonna have people that are in Maryland. So you're gonna be around people from the north and the south, right? Maryland is a lot better place to move to than backwoods Mississippi. But I would say Mississippi is bad, but Georgia is worse, and the state of Georgia is cursed. Stay tuned for more of my videos, and I'm gonna go more into that. But yes, Mississippi is a place that I recommend you get out of ASAP, especially if you're young. If you're young, why waste your youth in such a backwoods state where they got nothing going on? Is Jackson, Mississippi. I'm not trying to put Detroit down, but Detroit, it looks like the southern version of Detroit. It just looks bad, you know. I mean, every place you go that looks bad, there's just like, even when you go outside of Jackson, Mississippi, it's still like it's rural, it's backwoods. It's also heavily prone for tornadoes. Maryland and Virginia and Delaware, they don't get nowhere near as many tornadoes as Mississippi gets. Mississippi gets a lot more. Only places like Texas surpass them. And also the people up here are a lot more intelligent. It ain't like you're dealing with some, like in Mississippi, where you're dealing with some like backwards, old, like racist white people that just adore the Confederacy. Up here we have more universities in Maryland, and we border the District of Columbia. So we're a lot better. This to me is a perfect place for you to come, right? And it's a perfect place for you to raise your kids. Is in Maryland, in the state of Maryland. You don't have to live in Baltimore. You don't have to live in the parts of D.C. But Silver Springs, Maryland is a very affluent black county in Maryland. Baltimore has decent neighborhoods. We're also home to professional sports. If you want like professional like football, baseball, and DC has professional basketball and all three. But Mississippi has no professional sports at all. I don't see why anybody would go there. But please like and subscribe to the African American Maryland Movement. We're also on Facebook, the African American Maryland Movement, and check my other page out, the Black American Mid-Atlantic Movement, on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks everybody, and like and subscribe. And I'm gonna do more videos and more videos. Remember, we're building a Black Republic in Maryland and also in the Mid-Atlantic states. Thank you.